the stories, is the origin of the strawberries, how the Cherokee people came to have strawberries. And they say that Tahlequah, but a long time ago, there was a first man and there was a first woman. And Creator had put them together to love one another and to share things with one another and to love each other. And they got along, and day after day, their relationship grew and it advanced. And they were very, very happy together. And they lived in peace with one another. But then, as we know, people are people. They began fighting over little things, nitpicking over little things. First woman started getting annoyed at the way first man snored, at the way he left his stuff laying around. And first man got a little bit annoyed at first woman for talking too loudly, for talking too much. And this led to a series of little fights, a little nitpicking over little arguments. And eventually they got into an argument over something so small, neither of them could remember what they were arguing about. But this argument got so heated very fast. And first woman started yelling. First man started yelling. They had never yelled at each other before in their lives. And eventually they just stopped. They just stopped talking to one another. And first woman thought, you know what? I'm just going to go away. I'm just going to walk as far as I can, as fast as I can, away from first man. So first woman started walking, and she started walking towards the east. She started walking towards the sun. And she says, I'm going to go as far away as I can, away from that man, just as far as I can get. And off she went. And leaving first man all alone. And the minute she left, he began to feel very sorry. And he began to feel like, oh my gosh, what did I just do? What did we just do? What were we even arguing about? We can't even remember what we were arguing about. And so he started feeling very sorry. Then he started feeling very worried because it was getting dark. And he thought, oh my goodness, my wife is out there and it's going to get dark. What if she gets lost? What if an animal finds her? What if she can't find her way back home? And so he started praying to Creator. And he said, Creator, I can't even remember what we were fighting about. First woman and I, my wife and I, we had a fight. We had a fight and I don't even remember what we were fighting about. And I'm very sorry. And Creator answered him and talked back to him and asked, do you want to get her back? And first man said, yes, I want her back. I love her very much, and I'm very sorry. And Creator said, well, I put you two together for a reason. And he said, okay. He was like, I believe you. So I'm going to help you with first woman because she's very angry. She can't even remember what you guys were fighting about, but she's almost forgotten you. She's walked for so far and so long, and she's so far away right now. She's almost forgotten you. But I'm going to help you. I'm going to help you. And so Creator started watching over first woman. And first woman was walking, and she was just keeping up that steady pace, just walking right along, walking towards the east. And she wasn't looking, she wasn't even stopping at her, looking at where she was or her surroundings. And Creator thought, okay, so she's walking pretty fast. So what we'll do is I'm going to plant little things that will hopefully get her attention. So the first plant he talked to the ground and he decided to grow was huckleberries. Huckleberries are nice and they're small and they're very juicy. They have this lovely taste to them. And he thought, I'll plant some huckleberries. So he brought up huckleberries from the ground. Well, first woman was still very angry, still very mad. And she walked right on past him and Creator thought, okay, that didn't work. Okay, so what's another berry? So then he brought up some blueberries. Still nice small berries, and they grow in vines. And he brought those up from the ground. Well, first woman just walked right past those two. Okay. All right. I know what I'll do. There needs to be something colorful, a colorful berry. something that smells sweet, something that melts in your mouth. God will create a new berry. And from the ground he brought forth strawberries. And he planted so many with their beautiful little white flowers. And he strewed them amongst the ground with the vines. Well, first woman was walking, but she stopped when she saw these berries because she had never seen this berry before in her life. And she had spent a lot of time with her husband going out and gathering different things for meals and for things to make at home, different fibers. But she had never seen this berry before in her life. It was red. It was beautiful looking and kind of in the shape of a heart. So what she did was she stopped. She thought, these smell so good. What is this wonderful smell? And so she picked one and she ate it. And the minute she tasted it, she thought of her husband. And she thought, my husband would like these. I think I'll take some home to him. And so with that, first woman began picking the strawberries. She picked the strawberries, and then she started off back home. And first, Creator spoke to first man and said, now's your chance. You better go meet her halfway. And so she started walking back to the west. And first man was so grateful and so happy that he ran out to meet her. And together they shared a meal of strawberries. And that's why Creator has given us strawberries to this day. When we eat strawberries, we remember to love one another, to forgive one another. And they're so yummy and juicy. Why would you even waste your time arguing and fighting when there are strawberries to be had? And that is the origin of our strawberries. For my second story, I'm gonna bring this out here in a little bit, but I do want to tell a story that I've never told before. So this is good. You guys are gonna be my practice audience, and I'm hopefully I'll be able to tell it to some kids sometime, because I feel like this is one that they would enjoy. Because I try to choose stories that teach a lesson, because I find that a lot of story tales like Cinderella or Beauty and the Beast, those are great stories, but Cherokee stories are a little bit different, and the ones that haven't been Disney-fied, they don't always have happy endings, or they have unexpected endings, but they were meant to teach, they were meant to instruct, or they were meant as teaching tools. Of course, they were also meant for entertainment, and I found this one fairly entertaining. So this is the story of the crane and the hummingbird. So, the crane and the hummingbird were both in love with this beautiful Cherokee woman. In Cherokee, when we want to say that something is beautiful, we say, "Wodu." You guys say that with me? Wodu. Someone is a wodu. That person is wodu. Ooh, that means they're very pretty. They're very good looking. So, this woman was wodu. And Crane and the hummingbird were having an argument about her, and they were wondering, well, who does she love more, me or you? And the woman was in love with the hummingbird because he was uwodu. He was very good looking. He was very good looking, and she was in love with the hummingbird. And he was such a fast little racer. He could just dart here and there, and he was so fast, he was so quick. And he had this beautiful green and red and blue plumage. He was handsome. But the crane kept bothering First Woman. He was very persistent. But she thought that the crane was so awkward. Thought he was very awkward and very annoying. And so finally, to settle the matter, she said, okay, how about a race? Hummingbird, why don't you race the crane? Whoever wins, I'll marry. I will marry whoever wins this race. And Crane and the hummingbird thought that that was a good idea. Let's settle this once and for all. The woman thinking, that hummingbird is so quick, he's going to beat that crane like nothing. And so they took off. And Hummingbird just zipped. he just zipped as fast as he could, and he thought, I am so fast, I'm going to beat this crane. I'm going to marry that Uwodu woman. Yeah! So he took off, and he flew so fast, and he flew so far, he left that crane behind. And he thought, yeah, I'm gonna get this. You know what? I'm doing so good, I'm going to settle down for the night. I'm going to take a break. So they had started that morning. So he stopped in the evening and thought, man, I'm so far ahead. I'm so far ahead of that crane. I'm going to win this race like nothing. So he nested for the night. He settled down and he tucked himself in and he nested down for the night. But what hummingbird and what the Uwodu woman didn't know was that cranes fly all night and they don't stop. So the crane, even though he was 3 days behind the hummingbird, he flew all through the night. So when the hummingbird woke up in the morning, he saw that crane was catching up to him, and he thought, oh no, how did he catch up so fast? He must have flown all night long. So hummingbird took off again, and he thought, I gotta cover more ground. He's like, this crane is catching up to me. He's like, but I'm very fast. I'm very fast, but I'll win. I'm still gonna win this race. But the faster he went, the tireder he got. And he got a little bit more tired, so that, even though he had raced all morning and was trying to outdo the crane, he had to stop. He had to take a break in the afternoon, and he thought, all right, I think I've covered enough ground to put enough distance between me and him, me and the crane. So I'm going to stop just for a little bit. But by then, Hummingbird was so tired that he accidentally fell asleep. He fell asleep, and he slept all day, and by then, the crane passed him. And when the hummingbird woke up, it was evening, and he thought, no, it's too dark to fly. I can't fly at night. The owls will see me. The hunting birds will catch me. I can't fly until morning. So Hummingbird had to wait until morning to take off again. And this time, the crane was only about a day ahead of him, but he thought, I need to catch up, I need to catch ground. And this went on. For 4 days they raced, and the crane kept getting more ahead and more ahead and more ahead. And eventually Crane won the race and was the first one back. And he thought to himself, I have won. I am going to marry this Uwodu woman. And so when he came to her as the winner of the race, and she said, let's wait for Hummingbird. So he's like, we can wait for Hummingbird, but he's so far behind, we might have to wait, a day or so. But they waited till Hummingbird got there. And so the crane is the winner of the race. The Uwodu woman looked at both of them and thought, I don't have to marry either of you, actually. And Crane, you're a little bit too much for me. And so the woman didn't marry either of them. She didn't marry either of them. And she remained single. And Crane remained single. And so did the hummingbird. And I like that story because in our culture, our women have the right to say no. We have the right to say no. We have the right to marry whomever we want. And so, and I love that story so much. Because she didn't have to marry, And so you don't have to get married to someone you don't really want to get married. And that's what I'm going to tell all our young girls. You don't have to get married to someone you don't want to get married to. If you feel that it's wrong, don't do it. Right, but now I'll tell you like a love story, a good love story. They say that Sawewa, a long time ago, that there was this little Cherokee boy. And this poor little Cherokee boy. He couldn't run very fast. He wasn't a very good fisherman. And he wasn't a very good hunter. And so all the other little boys, they didn't want to play with him. They said, he's too loud when we go hunting. He's not a very good fisherman. He's such a bad stickball player, super bad at sports. He can't run very well. We don't want to play with him. So they left him out of all their games and all their hunting and all their adventures. And this little boy was very alone. So he was out walking one day, all alone, when he saw something. This beautiful Uwodu, remember that word, Uwodu? You say it back to me? Whoa. This whoa, beautiful little Cherokee girl crossed his path. Well, the minute the little Cherokee boy saw her, his heart started beating so fast, and his palms got sweaty, and his throat started sticking. He had fallen in love at first sight. Love for the very first time, and this little Cherokee boy thought, oh, I've never been in love before. This feels weird. And the minute he realized he was in love, he became very sad because he realized there's nothing I can do to get this girl's attention. There's nothing I can do. I'm not a very good fisherman. I'm not a very good ball player. I can't go win a stickball game for her. I can't bring a great big fish for her. I'm just not that great of a hunter. I can't bring down a great big deer for her. There's nothing I can do. There's nothing I bring to the table. There's nothing I can offer that would get this girl's attention. So with that in mind, he ran into the woods and he started crying. He started crying and crying his poor little heart out until he heard this woodpecker. This woodpecker up in this tree. And the little boy called out to it and he said, Delilah. Delilah is our word for woodpecker. He said, Delilah, I need your help. I am in love with this older little Cherokee girl, and there's just no way she's going to pay any attention to me. There's nothing I can do very well. I'm not a good stickball player. I'm not a very good hunter. Can you help me? And Delilah thought about it for a little bit. And he thought, hey, little Cherokee boy, I'm going to help you out because I see that you're sad. And I think there's something I can do to help you. So what Delilah did is he took his long bill and he drilled some holes on the limb that he was sitting. He said, little Cherokee boy, if you climb up here, you climb up this tree, you get here on this limb, you take this flute that I'm going to give you. You take this flute, you practice this flute, you make up a special song especially for that little girl. And she's going to come up and she's going to talk to you. So that's what the little boy did. So he climbed up the tree and he chopped off the limb and he started playing, he started practicing. And he made up a special little song, and he got good. He got good at the flute. He started playing and practicing. And one day, he got confident enough where he played that song where everybody could hear him. And everybody was so stunned. That little Cherokee boy was playing the flute, and it was nice sounding. And the minute that little girl heard that song, that beautiful, sweet song coming to her on the wind, she knew that that song was especially for her. So she started walking up to him. She started talking to him. Story of how the Cherokees got the flute.